Hey everybody, it's Tim Hinton, the beast of the marching arts, and boy, is this going to be a fun conversation. We are live on all the socials, and I'm here with Jeremy, Jackie, and Christopher, and we are going to be talking about a new podcast and giveaways and all kinds of interesting things. So thank you for watching this, whether you're watching it live or later. Jeremy, why don't you introduce who's yourself and who all is here today?
Hi, Tim. Well, as you all know, I'm the owner of Guard Closet, and one thing that I love to do is give back to the activity as a whole. So we have been working on this podcast for quite a while. Jackie, who's here from Spintronics, and Guard Closet also, she works with us, we just kept getting this information being given to us, social media, TikTok, Instagram. We want to talk about this. You guys did talk about this. We want to, here's things like this. So I sort of started to go, all right, we need to put a fun podcast together. It's like Tim is out there doing all the education that could possibly be. I don't want to get anywhere.
Clearly, my podcasts are not fun, everybody. There's a void in the fun. I'm just thinking about, no, really, the thing is cool, everybody, is this is a very cool, fun format. So make sure you're listening. By the way, if you're watching live, you're awesome. Hi to Christine that says hi. She's watching, of course. Christine's watching. So
Christine is our lovely producer. She does a lot of our scripting, so she's key.
So anyway, if you're watching this right now live, let people know that we're on talking about this so they can find out about it. Jackie, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
My name is Jackie Brown. I work for Guard Closet, and I started Spintronics Guard, which is the #1 most subscribed color guard channel on YouTube, which is just blows my mind still. It's amazing. And of course, I have a how-to flag course on Tim Hinton's website. If you guys have not checked that out, do that. I'm working on getting the rifle course up. It's all done. It's just a physical, getting it up there now. We're working on it. So yes,
everybody go to Marching Arts Education and look for her beginners, spinning flags for beginners?
It's flag spinning for beginners and beginning instructors. So it's really, really basic and really general, and it teaches you how to do it and also how to teach it. So it's a really awesome combination.
Awesome. And now driving safely while on video, Christopher Rutt. Christopher, how are you? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Might be muted. There you go. Chris was on. I don't know if you got that, Chris. Oh, he got jumped out. Well, he'll come back. Everybody. He'll be back. But I will tell you, I mean, Chris is fantastic. He's a drummer guy, adjudicator from the West Coast. He marched Blast back in the day, went on big tour with them. He is just a really, really great guy. And one of the things that we wanted to do with the podcast was find those great people, find the people with the really super fun band nerd personalities, because that's essentially what this is. It's like the podcast for the band nerd that just wants to hear the news and wants to keep up with what's going on, maybe get a little bit of advice. We talk to fun and interesting people. Tim Hinton is our first guest on the podcast, which we've put out, here he comes. We put out one episode already, kind of our intro episode. But I'll let Chris is back. So Chris, I just kind of gave a little bit of who you are. So maybe you could talk about what it's been like recording the podcast or whatever. Maybe he can't.
Christopher, you with us, buddy? He's not hearing us. Something's going on with him in the car. Listen, he's going to get that figured out.
Yeah.
Jeremy, first, I want you and Jackie to explain to us, why is it called On a Water Break? I think this is very interesting, everybody. There's a new podcast that Jeremy, Jackie, and all these folks at Guard Closet are doing called On a Water Break. So, Jeremy and Jackie, why is that the title?
Jackie.
Okay, I love it, because this is the thing that I'm the most excited about is the format of this podcast. So the idea is that all of us who are on the On a Water Break staff are the staff of a marching band, and we're literally on a water break from a marching band rehearsal. And so we're talking to each other. We're talking to, the students, we're talking to the guest clinician, we're talking to everybody while we're taking a break from having rehearsal. And this is just it's such a fun format because we've all kind of been there, and we can do these things that are relatable, and we have these conversations that just make sense for what we're doing.
It really is supposed to be like you're at a rehearsal. The stuff you talk about at a rehearsal. I mean, that's the podcast, right? We are trying to educate, we're trying to help, we're trying to entertain. It's the podcast you should listen to on your way to rehearsal. Your podcast you should listen to on your way to a show. Like, you know, it's like not the stress out time. It's like the cool down time. It's like, you know, I don't want to listen to the judges' tapes. Put this on. You know, we're in and out in an hour with super fun people, super fun interviews that are coming up. And the panelists that are on, I mean, just there's Chris. Are you there, Chris?
Hey guys, sorry, the technology issues.
So we are literally just about to talk about the other panelists that are on the show with us. Obviously, I introduced you, but how are you with the other panelists? How do you think that's going?
Dude, everyone on the panel for this show is incredible. They each have a wealth of knowledge that is really great to add some more diversity to the world of the marching arts. And I absolutely love working with these people. They're so much fun. I learn something from them every time we start recording.
Yeah. We have Whitney Stone, who teaches at Round Rock and at March Pride and teaches Crown, and she's just like phenomenal color guard person out in Texas, all over the place. Obviously, Chris Rutt is our sort of band horn kind of guy, right? Adjudicator guy. We have Tom Shear, who is our percussion guy. He's affiliated with Pearl, I think, percussion. Yeah. So he's a West Coast percussion guy. He's been around doing great stuff. He's hysterical. Beth Bacone, who is just Beth has been on with you, Tim. I'm sure it's some place in time. She's works with Vivace Productions and does camps, and she's a big college band nerd type person. She does she does Vivace camp. She does group travel. So all of the bands going to the Rose Bowl. She's planning their travel. So she's that kind of genre. We've got a couple of other people that float in, like with our advice segment. We have Justin Surface, who's a friend of Jackie's, that does visual design and stuff. And then we have Trevor Bailey from Western Carolina University, I believe. He's the assistant band director there. So it's a big panel, but it's kind of like float in and out and kind of, be different parts of it.
And if you've ever been like on a marching band with a huge staff, it's so real. It's so like, this is how it is. And if you've only been like on a small band, like when I was in high school, I was only ever in a small band. So like my first experience with a big staff was like this eye-opening thing. And I feel like the listeners are getting that from this. They're going to get this whole, this whole idea of it, what it's like to be on a big staff or be around a big staff. It's really, really cool. And some of the people, like, I've looked up to them for so long personally, because like I met Whitney a few years ago at WGICon, and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's this amazing person. And then of course Chris Rutt being having done Blast, and I looked up to Blast when I was a young performer, like, oh, that's a cool thing, I want to do that. And that's kind of the thing that motivated me to join drum corps. And so like seeing all these people and getting to interact with them and seeing how they interact, even though they're from different parts of the country and different programs and they all have very diverse backgrounds, it's like, it's amazing. It's just like chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So listen, everybody, we're talking about a brand new podcast from the folks at Guard Closet called On a Water Break. It's a really interesting thing. Now, before we talk about the giveaway, though, Jeremy, if somebody's like, I'd like to check out this new podcast, where'd they go?
Right now, you could go to onawaterbreak.com, and that will direct you to Spotify. We're uploading on Apple as we speak. I was trying to get it before we got on this one, but by this afternoon, we should be on Apple, Spotify, to go and just search On a Water Break and find it there. Worst case scenario, go to onawaterbreak.com. It clicks right there. It says listen now. It'll take you right to the right there.
So I think it's a really cool idea, but I have to tell you, I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to go, because sadly you said that you couldn't find anyone as your first guest, so you had me. So it's a low bar, everybody. It's a low bar. Anyway, I am on the one possible. When does the one come out this week that I'm a part of, Jeremy?
It will drop on Thursday. as the kids say. It will drop on Thursday, as the kids say.
Because that's how hip we all are. All right, so now I want to hear about this. I want to hear about this giveaway because this is really big, everybody. Like, you're going to want to hear about this. This is like free stuff that could make a huge difference for some people.
We're
So,
going to be changing lives.
Yeah, we're changing lives.
Changing lives, everybody.
You get a scholarship. Yeah. So one of the big things that I said to all of the group, all the hosts and panelists that were going to be a part of this was, I want this to have a good launch, a good, let's get everybody to know about it. And this is how right here. So what we've decided to do is Guard Closet is sponsoring 2 scholarships, 2 $500 scholarships that will go to any, one scholarship go to a WGI Color Guard member that's participating and going to WGI championships this year. And one will go to a percussion or winds group. So winds member. So that if you go to onawaterbreak.com, you can register right there for the scholarship. Everything will be there. And yeah, we're gonna keep it opened through most of the month of November into December as we promote it on the podcast and get everybody to register. Then we'll have those 2 individuals that win on the podcast with us doing stuff like that. The second part of it is we're actually giving even stuff to groups as well. So through sponsorship and collaboration with Style Plus, we'll be doing a set of 20 unitards for a color guard, as well as a set of 20 performance tops for a winds and percussion group. Now you may say, oh, I already have my costume. I already know what I'm doing this winter. Oh my gosh. So we've allowed it to go all the way through till next fall. So even if you win this and you don't want to use it this winter as part of your costuming needs, you could use it for next fall. In addition to, even better than that, if you're say, I have 30 kids, I need to order 10 extra, we could do that. Or I don't want a unitard. I don't want just a unitard. I want a unitard with a skirt for my fall show. Okay, well, we will, sort of subtract the difference, the value of the unitard. And then anything that you ordered on top of that, you would just have to pay for yourself. So it's
amazing head start for some group, like saving so much money. You can use that other ways, everybody.
It's like a $15,000 total giveaway for the costuming.
Much.
Yeah. So it's
seriously going to change lives.
It's pretty major. And I will say to the people that are watching this, especially, share it with other people. It's as Jackie was just saying, like, this could change a color guard's existence. So don't take for granted that you just want to register, but send it to like 5 or 6 people that you think could need it. Whether that's an individual or group.
Yeah, like Christopher, like percussion groups have so many expenses with all the equipment and everything. So like this is going to be huge for some percussion group, I hope.
Oh, absolutely, especially with groups now coming out of COVID, and fundraising is still can be a huge challenge. Having something like this will be really beneficial to groups that offset that cost of costumes, because costumes are always expensive. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of labor. So to have a little bit of leeway to spend on other things that you have to buy, like a floor and all the electronics that are probably going to break throughout the season, because we know it's going to. So it's great. This is a really fantastic situation.
Yeah, I love it. So Jeremy, there's other things too, right? So we have
maybe I've heard that every person that enters, regardless of if you win or not, everyone that enters will get a free month of service on marching arts education. Is that correct, Tim?
I suppose it is. It just got announced. No, of course we love to do that. So you get a free membership, 1 month membership to check out everything we are doing at Marching Arts Education, which includes a lot of discounts on courses and other things. Hey, Jeremy, we're trying to help out. So this is a way to launch the podcast and give some givebacks as the season is cranking up for the winter.
That's right. And we are going to be with you every week. We have different special shows. There's just a lot of stuff planned. If you want to participate, find us on social media. We're asking people if you want advice to submit voice memos. You can call like a caller, call in. We would love to have that. I mean, it's the more participation. If you know a great story that you want covered, we have one of the best guests, or not best guests, one of the best hosts that we all completely forgot about. But we should not, is Cindy Barry, Leander Mama.
Yes, Cindy.
So, I mean, we really did set this podcast up like a band rehearsal. So when you come in, we've got, announcements, and we're doing all the things. And then, so the band parents have to talk. So every week, Cindy Barry is featuring another band parent group across the United States that's doing amazing work. Like, I kid you not, my phone is blowing up right now. These are all text messages going back and forth. Cindy Barry with our producer, Christine, talking about the San Antonio Regional and her Mama Minute that she's going to be talking about. So, like, she's chatting with the Johnson High School boosters at 1 p.m. on Zoom today, just in a few minutes. So there's just like a lot of exciting things happening that are really, really, we're excited to bring.
That's great. So everybody, we're talking about the new podcast from Guard Closet and all the people involved there called On a Water Break. If you don't know why in the world it's called that, you just simply need to rewind to the beginning of this video and hear that, because we've already talked about that. It was very interesting. Now, Christopher, since you're on the line with us, do you have a favorite memory from your time at Blast? Like a favorite story that you can actually share on the public forum? I'm just kidding. Of course you can share any story. I'm just trying to be funny. Chris, what do you got?
Oh man, there are so many great memories. One that particularly sticks out to me was Blast got to play on some a special show in Switzerland called Wetten das. It's a German game show where basically they do stupid human tricks and people judge and all that. But in between, they had special performing groups. So it was Blast, and then the Three Tenors, and J-Lo, and then British pop star Robbie Williams. We don't know how we fit into that whole program with the Three Tenors, J-Lo, and Robbie Williams. But
wow.
We got to go to Basel, Switzerland for 3 days. We got to go perform, do Bolero on Bolero, I think it was, on this show, and we got to hang out with J-Lo and all that. And fun fact, I have to share the same birthday with Pavarotti. So I got to meet Pavarotti, and he said, "I heard we have the same birthday." I was like, "You're talking to me."
See, and this will be one of our features on upcoming episodes of On a Water Break. It will definitely be Blast. Where are they now? I'm ready for it. Isn't everybody else?
Yes, let's get some more former Blast people on here.
Oh, I'm gonna call them up. Don't worry, they'll show up.
I mean, Christopher, you have now like blown out of the water the whole concept of name dropping on this podcast. Like, how's anybody going to possibly match that story?
You know, and I'm telling you, this is the lovely thing about Chris. And this is why he's so wonderful for the podcast. No, I mean, not that part, but he doesn't see that. Like, it's not, he thinks nobody wants to hear his stories. That's why he texted me. He's like, nobody wants to hear from me. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the best.
Christopher.
That boring time I met J-Lo on a TV show in Europe, like, no, that's so ordinary,
Marching arts celebrity. Come on.
Just a gig. It was just a gig.
Just a gig.
So everybody, this is an example of what would happen on a water break.
Yes.
Yeah, this is an exact example. Yes. Like, you're standing around on a water break and you tell these stories. And I think, Jeremy, this sort of encapsulates this idea.
Exactly. 1000%. What you're hearing and what we're doing right now is exactly the podcast vibe. This is the vibe we wanted. This is the vibe we're creating. And you're bringing together the people to have the vibe, and it's there. I mean, it's just naturally sort of like goes right in and it's there. So it's really fun, people. That's what I will say. That's
all right. So if you're watching this, whether live or later, the recording or whatever, and hi, Facebook user, it doesn't say your name, but we're so glad this person says they love this. And of course, why wouldn't you love this? It's going to be it's a really great idea. And, I hear that they even have a super big, important incredibly talented and smart first guest that's on the podcast this week. So you need to check. You just need to check it out and see who that might be. Of course, once you start there, it's all going to be downhill. But anyway, everyone check it out. This is a great idea, Jeremy. On all the places that podcasts are, right? You can go. What was the address again? The web address?
onawaterbreak.com.
So if you're watching this and you think somebody else, of course, would like this and check this out, make sure you tell them, go on the socials, share this video, whatever you want to do, and let people know that this is here. So Jeremy, why don't we go back around as we're sort of wrapping this up, go back over really quick the giveaway things, and then let's let each person sort of say a closing thing. So Jackie and Christopher, think of something really fun or brilliant to say while Jeremy go over the giveaways.
Did you talk about the scholarships already?
Yeah. Well, I will say this, Jackie and Chris. So one of the things that we do on every podcast is we have a thing called Gush and Go. Everybody knows what a gush and go is, right? Like you're in rehearsal, you got to run up to the front, gush your water real quick, and then get back out on the field. So on our gush and goes, everybody gets 30 seconds to say whatever they want to and gush and go on about. So I'm about to gush and go on about our scholarship and unitard giveaway or costume giveaway. So as part of the launch of this podcast, we will be giving away 2 $500 scholarships that are sponsored by Guard Closet, one to a percussion or winds member, and one to a color guard member that are participating in groups going to WGI this year. So those are for individuals, and you go and you apply for the scholarships. A couple little easy questions. You'll come on, the winner will be announced. You come on the podcast, talk to us about things and how it's going in your season. And then the second part of it is for groups. We actually secured through Style Plus the value of 20 unitards for a color guard group and the value of 20 performance tops. You do not need to use those for this winter. You could use those up through fall of 2023, but it's sort of a great way to kickstart getting any costumes. And what I say is don't just register this for yourself, but send it to other people, because ultimately this is here to help those that really need something get something they really, really need to make something happen. So that is my official gush and go for this episode.
I want to gush and go about just getting on there and watching the podcast. Like, get on Spotify, give us 5 stars. As soon as it's uploaded on Apple, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, it'll be up there soon. Get up there and give us 5 stars. Getting those ratings in and sharing the podcast episodes helps us out so much. And if you guys keep interacting, we can keep making more really fun content, because I think this is something that's really, really needed in the marching arts world. There's so much educational content. There's so many different things that we have out here in the marching arts, but like, where's the fun? Where's the stuff that's just like, okay, marching band is fun. Marching band is so much fun. And we just have such a fun time doing it. Like, we wouldn't keep doing it for so long if we didn't love it this much and it wasn't enjoyable. So we want to fill that fun zone, and you guys sharing it and you guys interacting with us, sending us voice message questions and things like that is only going to make it continue to go on and get better. So please, please, please share it. Share this episode, share this live stream with Tim, because we love Tim. And, this will help get people more excited about the podcast and wanting to listen to it.
Speaking of the fun zone, let's hear from Christopher Rudd.
So just to piggyback what everyone's been saying, go check out the podcast. We have a ton of fun. We would love your feedback. We would love to know what other things we want to talk about, on what you want us to talk about on the podcast. So give us some likes, give us some love, download it, and make sure you check it out. And my other gush and go, Hebron High School 2022, holy moly, they are ridiculous. I wish them the best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, everybody. I mean, Grand Nationals is happening this week. The BOA Today podcast that I've been doing each Wednesday comes out tomorrow. We're talking about how band directors get their kids ready to walk into the stadium and not just freak out and fall apart. Okay, that's a real thing you have to figure out. So yeah, so that's kind of part of we don't say it exactly like that, but that's really what we're talking about this week. So anyway, that's all happening. Jeremy, I love this. Jackie, Christopher, thanks for talking with me today. This is really fun. Everybody go check out this On a Water Break, the new podcast from Guard Closet. There's giveaways. Your group could get a huge head start into your season with this. Or if you're a marcher, you can get a scholarship. It's all really good stuff. Jeremy, you get the final word. What do you want to say?
Look, just go to onawaterbreak.com. It's all there. Share it, like it, help out a friend. We are here to be fun and entertain. And the more you can get involved with us, the more fun and entertaining it will be.
All right, awesome. So everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, share it. Let a friend know about this or about the whole thing we're talking about. Jeremy, Jackie, and Christopher, great job today. This was fun. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
You know.
And see
Thanks,
Tim's
everybody.
episode dropping on Thursday. Tim's episode.
Right. I'm their special guest for whatever reason, everybody. So I hope you enjoy it. Watch this week.